Welcome to the Crossing Conversation. I'm Brian.
And I'm Devon.
Why did it take you so long to start?
What? I gotta give enough time for the response. I can't be
But
right
it was
away.
But it was like, welcome to the Crossing Conversation. I'm Brian. I'm Devon.
Yeah.
Like, it took like a whole 3-second pause.
It's anticipation. You don't know what's coming next.
Do we need the anticipation?
Yeah. We just need
For a
that
second, I thought
little
you said
sound effects.
For a second, I thought you said anticipation, and I was like, that's not a word.
No.
I knew you said anticipation.
No.
Well, anyway, so clearly the Crossing Conversation isn't Greg and Jay anymore.
Yeah, we're not that experienced.
No, we aren't, and I think that's the best part, because not only are we probably going to, even though me and Devin have been friends for
What?
5,
No.
6,
Not 6.
7.
Nah, it's closer to 10. I think.
Did I?
I think.
Hold on. Let me run through the backstory. I met Devin first in youth group. He came to our church 3 times. It was like 1 to 3 times, and then because we went on a trip. We went to Rock Universe, I think.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know that trip was happening.
I think we went to
till
Rock
the day
Universe
before.
And then after that, I never seen the man again. Like, never. And after that trip, maybe like 2 years later, Buddy appears back up out of nowhere. And Devin comes in. It was over the summer, because it was 2016.
Was it?
I think, yeah, it was 2016, because I was graduating the following year, 2017.
Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
I came, because
And
I was like 2 years behind you.
Yeah, you were 2 years behind me, and at summer camp, we were both like, I guess you could call us like counselors or just leaders.
Glorified interns.
We glorified interns. We'll say that, and we used to make the funniest like videos and stuff, and do things with the kids.
Do you remember what our first interaction was?
I have like a brief memory of it.
So
you might be able to tell the story better.
At the old church we went to, this is like what, 6, 7, 8 years, something like that.
Hold on. So 2016 we met, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. We were in the sanctuary at the time, and Brian was sitting in the sound booth, and he asked me to grab him a pair of scissors. So I thought it was a great idea from across the sanctuary to throw them at him.
Mind you, this is the first time like I had I had a full interaction with Devin. Like, we've crossed paths, we've talked, but like this is the first time I had like a full interaction with him.
Yeah, I like full on chucked the scissors as hard as I could. You had to duck under the table and everything. Oh,
it was terrifying. Like, imagine, like, anybody can imagine this: a pair of scissors being thrown at you full force by a left-handed man, so he's not that coordinated. So he threw them, and I'm like, whoa, hold on. And then I knew he was gonna be my best friend from there.
Nothing got damaged. Nobody got hurt.
Thank God.
That I remember.
Thank God. In the house of God too.
Yeah.
Imagine in the house of God somebody just gets.
I think God was laughing at that. Look, he already knew. He already knew nothing was gonna happen.
He said, "I think God was laughing at that."
I bet you he called all the angels over. He's like, guys, look at this.
He said, "Come look over here.
Look at this." I almost got him. Close.
God. No, and then after that, we you started going to the same private school as me because the private school that we went to was part of the same church that we had summer camp at, and um we would pass each other. No, I lied. You didn't start coming to the school until after I graduated. You were in 11th grade when I graduated, and then you graduated the year prior to that.
You graduated
2017.
You graduated right before that summer.
That's what I'm saying.
I came,
so 2017.
I came the summer after you, and then I started going to that school.
In your 11th grade.
My 11th, your after.
Yeah.
I missed it by 1 year.
Hey.
That's when you were full time working
Well,
at that church.
Yeah, I became full time because I was a glorified unpaid intern.
Yeah.
For the longest, and what I'm mad about is Devin got paid his first year.
I didn't even. It was like $200. I got paid like $200 a month.
Huh?
I got paid like $200 a month. That first year.
Better than getting paid zero.
Yeah, but you know what I did?
But it's okay.
I went home.
It's okay.
I put that in a bank account, spent it on games on PlayStation. I'm not even gonna lie.
And Mountain Dew. Let me tell you just a little story about Devin. When I first met Devin, this man never drank any water. It was straight Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, Pepsi. Anything with sugar in it was in his body. Look at him. Look at me. I drink more water than him at the time, and I still do. Right now, he's currently drinking a sweet tea from McDonald's.
So good.
And I'm drinking a big bottle of water.
But I got that Circle Cup in my car, so.
What'd that do? It's in the car.
Flavor water. But that thing's been empty for like
Flavor
2 days.
Water. But no, he drinks more water now. Thank God. Do you think that if you didn't start drinking water, something eventually would have happened? Like, what made you actually start? Like, hey, I need to start. Was it your wife?
No, it was that Circle Cup. I took the first sip.
Nah, you just got that thing for Christmas.
I know. I got the fruit punch cartridge to put in that thing. I cranked that sucker up to like 4 or 5 because there's different levels of flavor. Thing tastes so good. Oh my gosh. I drank like 5 water bottles in an hour.
For those of you that don't know, it's called a circle.
CIRKUL.
CIR. So circle.
Yeah, but it's like a cylinder. Doesn't make sense, but
so look it up. It's CIRKUL.
We're not sponsored.
We're not sponsored by them. Absolutely not.
I would love to though.
One day.
Free cartridges, baby.
Free cartridges, baby. But it's a clear water bottle, and you put these flavors pods into the top of the lid, and it takes the water from tasting like water to tasting like fruit punch, lemonade.
Man, I put tap water in that thing. Yeah, I'll walk into the kitchen, fill it up with with the tap water out of the sink, throw it back on, good to go.
You know, I know we might be getting a little off topic with things, but like, what is the best kind of water? It's clearly you drink tap water, but like, Zephyr Hills water is like the equivalent to store-bought tap water.
Zephyr Hills water tastes like water I just pulled out of the dirt.
It's true. It has a tang to it. It has like a little twang.
Publix water is not that bad.
Publix has a water?
Yeah,
or is it just like bottled spring water?
It's every other thing. It's like every other spring water, but it has Publix brand on it, which makes it better.
So it's glorified spring water.
Yeah.
Which they probably stole from another company.
But the best water I've ever drank was Liquid Death.
That's water. I thought that was an energy drink.
No, it's
This
water.
whole time,
It's mountain
I
water.
thought, yo,
But this thing, so the first time I had Liquid Death, me, my wife, her sister, and her sister's boyfriend at the time, went to a Fall Out Boy concert in West Palm. And I went up to the counter and I got 2 things of water and a Mountain Dew. And the lady handed me the 2 cans of Liquid Death. And I just read the name and I was like, oh, you didn't give me water. You gave me energy drinks. And she's like, no, that's our water. And I looked at it, I was like, I've never heard of this water. So hopefully I don't die. Thank you. Got back. I took a sip. Best thing I've ever drank. I prefer that over soda.
but like, why the name? Like,
I don't know, but it's I guess there's literally a whole story on the side of it about it going to kill your thirst. It's wild. But there's one thing, I will not bring that into a church.
Shouldn't be. I wouldn't even drink it. We don't know what they put in that thing.
They put water. I mean,
Water with added chemicals. But
I mean, they put water.
well, Devin, there was something I did want to talk about today, and I just want to talk about like one, how each of us got to where we are today as far as like in ministry and what we do, and like kind of like our role in the church.
Like how we got where we are today.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then to why we chose to come to the crossing. Why we chose to make the crossing our home.
Okay.
I'll go first on the first topic.
Oh, I was gonna rock, paper, scissors.
Oh. Well, how are they gonna know if we do it right?
I don't know.
Yeah, hold on, I got this. You want heads or tails?
I want tails.
Alright. Flip a coin.
Show the camera.
It's heads. I win. You don't
Dang.
believe me?
What does it say? Say heads?
Yeah. It's heads.
Alright, it said heads.
Fact checked. Alright. It had to be fact checked, you know? Don't. It's not.
This ain't Facebook.
Things you be seeing on Facebook. I had to get off that. I don't know how y'all do it. Bro, I think sometimes, honestly, Facebook is worse than any other social media platform.
I don't know. All the social media platforms are just so much the same nowadays. It's nothing but just endless scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
It's true, and it's surprising. Like, so, I remember the day. So August 4th of 2023, I decided to take like a whole like break from social media, and I didn't get back on it till like November.
Now, which social media platforms was it that you took a break from?
All of them, every single one.
TikTok,
Every single
Instagram,
one.
all
And I
those.
even found a way to deactivate the shorts on YouTube, like a little hack.
Oh
yeah.
wow!
So that way I wasn't like scrolling through those.
And you were just
stuff.
getting your recommended videos that you would normally.
Yeah. So either I replaced that time. I started reading books, and it was funny because like as soon as I started taking that break, my mentor, which is one of our lead pastors here, Pastor Jay, he bought me a book called Wild at Heart. So I started reading that, and I think he had bought you the book as well, because he's both of our mentors. And I'm not gonna lie, it took me forever to finish that book, but I finished it because I would read like maybe like a page a day or something. Because I don't like to read, I really don't, other than like my Bible. But that's really it. But during that time, I really like grew closer to God just because of like there wasn't my daily distraction anymore, you know. And it was kind of funny because I broke some habits during that time, like how often I was on my phone, how often I used my phone, how often I picked it up, stuff like that. Like I would literally pick up my phone and I knew where the Instagram app was. I'd open it, swipe. Oh, Instagram open right now at speak. That's crazy. and I would swipe right and it would be right there, and I would do that every time I pick up my phone for like the first like 3 weeks, and it wasn't there, and I'd be like, oh, I'd be so sad, and then I put my phone down. But moral of the story: every once in a while, take a break off of social media because it's so like if you don't filter what you watch on there, it's so bad.
Oh yeah.
It's so bad. It ruins your mental health. It ruins like your it even perverts your mind to things, especially, you know. Um but that's a conversation for another day.
Another conversation.
Another conversation on the crossing conversation.
Plug. Now, a word from our sponsor.
There is no sponsor.
There
We
is
don't
no
have those.
sponsor. I
Not
just
yet.
wanted to see
We're
if something
believing
would
for
pop
them.
up.
But anyway, how I got into ministry. So for those of you that don't know what I do, I am the creative and music director here at the church, and I basically handle anything from graphics to videos to audio to music to making sure that Pastor Craig's vision for the church is displayed properly um and that it impacts people. I also run the social media accounts and the website. I do a lot.
A lot of hats.
But I love to do it, which is even better. And Devin can attest to this. At my old church, um, I did everything I just said plus more at the time. Um, I learned how to do lights at the age of 14. I learned how to do sound and like presentation slides at the age of when I was 11 because Jay, he was literally like, he's like, he saw me make a face one day. It was this face right here. And I made that face, and he thought it was the most funniest thing ever. So we recorded a video, and it was supposed to be a Vine. If you don't know what Vine is, it was basically TikTok before TikTok.
It was TikTok, but better.
Yeah, and it was a parent company of Twitter, which Twitter is now X, and owned by Elon
Was it
Musk.
a parent company? No, I thought
It
they
was,
were.
yeah, because
No, was it Musically?
no, Vine was a parent company of Twitter because I could literally post my Vine straight to Twitter if I wanted to. I believe so. Fact check me on it if I'm wrong. But anyway, I made that face and Jay thought it was the most funniest thing, so we recorded a video. And then after that, I think he just like saw something in me at the time. He would have to come on and tell you guys the story more. But he asked me to help him with kids church. And so I started helping him with kids church at the age of 11. It was over the summer, so I was just starting. And mind you, I had just came back to the church around this time. My mom had went away for when I was 9, so she was away for like 2 years out of my life for a short period of time. That's a story for another day. But she went away for 2-year period of my life, and then we started going back to church around that time. A few months later, I started helping out with kids church. I was helping with sound, presentations and stuff, and then fast forward 2 years later, I start going to the school that they had at that church. It's a private school. Graduated from I started going there. And the funny thing about that, how I started going to that school, right? So on literally the first day of 8th grade, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm putting my uniform on to go to this public school. And mind you, I've already been there for 6th and 7th grade, and my mom was trying to get my dad to agree to let me go to a new school. The school at the church. And my mom and my dad were just like, going back and forth. And finally they came to an agreement to let me go. but they didn't settle the agreement until the first day of school. So the first day of school, I go to public school. And mind you, I was a hooligan in school, class clown, everything, right? So what do you think I decided to do knowing that this was going to be my first and last day?
Man, you probably keyed somebody's car.
No, I wasn't that bad.
Slash some tires, key a car, do the, what is it? Firecracker in the toilet.
If you're throwing a firecracker in the toilet, you deserve to get expelled. Like,
well, hey, you didn't have anything to lose.
you right.
What? They're gonna send you home early?
But it was more so like talking back to teachers, not really caring, playing pranks on people.
Oh man, those
people.
kids probably.
If you don't know
thought
what
the
roasting
coolest.
is for our 30 and up community,
No way you said that bar so low.
it's when it's pretty much picking on people, but in a joking manner. Some people take it to heart, some people don't. I can't even say I don't do it as much anymore. I do it lightly now. Let's say that. I don't want to lie on here. This is, we're shooting this episode of the podcast in our home church.
I'm still stuck on that. You said 30 and up.
It's okay. It's okay. I was gonna. No, I was gonna say something else, but I thought 30 and up would be a little nicer, to put them in the ball range of 30 and up. I'll probably get a lot of comments on Sunday when people listen to this and watch it. Oh no, over for me. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
That's why I'm letting you do the talking.
That's
for
fine.
the first episode.
That's fine. That's fine. You'll have your half to talk.
Oh man.
Anyway, so I literally was just the worst kid ever, and I had told my friends, I was like, "Yeah, guys, I'm not coming back here." He's like, "What? Why not?" I was like, "My mom and dad just decided that I would go to this other school on the first day." So I had 2 first days of school on in 8th grade, and the next one it was just me. I kind of was like this. I turned into like this shy kid because I didn't really know anybody. When you move somewhere, you don't really know anybody, so you become shy and you just, you're just learning the environment at first. And I'm an observer, so like I observe everything, and I'm constantly watching everything. Like if you guys watch me on stage, I'm like looking at like the lights, making sure they're good, the background, all the musicians, the singers, the congregation. Like I'm looking at everything. I just observe everything. But after that, at the age of 14, in my 9th grade year, we had ended up moving to this other campus, and they had me. Jay was like, "Oh, Brian, we need somebody to run the projector screen, like the background for the middle projector, for the big service." And I was like, "All right, cool. When you get an opportunity to work in the big church, big service,
especially when you're young, you're
exactly.
Like, oh my gosh,
you're like me in big church. I've only been in little church and youth group, right? So,
whoa, what is this land?"
So, literally, I'm like, okay, dope. And then my pastor at the time, he is also like, I kind of see him as like one of my spiritual fathers, and he just started to just throw me under the bus with things. Like he would start like asking me, "Brian, I want to see." I remember one of the main things he asked me. It was he wanted these clouds on the bottom of the screen, and at the top he wanted me to take this other background and kind of merge them together. Mind you, I'm 14. I don't know how to do this yet. So in Keynote, it's a presentation software. I took two backgrounds and I overlaid one on top, and I kind of just like moved it down and over, and it worked, and he loved it. And guess what though? If you ever worked in creative ministry, they're always gonna ask you to do more. Or they're always going to expect you to do more.
Just be careful using Keynote.
Right? So after that, I probably made like 5 more backgrounds like that. Like later on. But from there it was just from there my pastor, his name is Pastor Jerry, as he throwing me under the bus and stuff, like basically like just throwing me in the fire of making, like basically just I had to learn these things on my own, and thank God I'm a proud graduate from YouTube University. Uh, he I'm pretty much all self taught, and so is Devin. And from there, when I graduated, they gave me my first job, my first real job. I worked at a paintball park for like 3 years.
Oh yeah, I forgot you
Before
had that
that
job.
Yeah, I worked at a paintball park for 3 years. I was good at paintball. And then food took over my life. But I was still a big boy playing food. I was still a big boy playing paintball though. But I play basketball now. But what? Sorry, our producer was talking for no reason. But
Dang. Paintball 3
what was
years.
it? Oh yeah,
First
my bad,
job.
My bad.
Big boy
So,
job.
but anyway, I graduated 2017. That's when I met Devin, and that's when I started working there full time. And I pretty much, my main job title then at that time was graphic designer and video editor.
Anything we ask him to do.
That too. Like, if you're young, and just be ready for them to ask you to clean the toilets.
Yeah, you
Like,
have.
I
You
never-
have
like,
no
to be-
idea.
To be honest with you, I never had to do that.
No, me neither.
I never had to clean. Thank God. Like they gave me so much busy work.
Man, I would have just sat there and kept flushing the toilet till it cleans itself. Be like, hey, it looks good to me. I'm not even kidding. It would have cleaned itself at some point.
No way.
Oh, there's a little stuff down there. Dang, just keep flushing it.
Oh my God, the water bill, bro. The water bill. It's like it's crazy. As teenagers and kids, we could care less about the water bill and the light bill. We care less.
I don't even care about my water bill now. I live in HOA. That's all covered for me.
For all you 30 and up members, you to put him on some game about why.
And what
It's
is
important.
up with you at 30 and up?
But isn't your water bill like included in your mortgage or something like that?
It's included in my HOA. The only thing I pay is power. So when
I
I get
got the
home from work,
power.
if any lights are on, they're staying off for the rest of the day.
I mean, you have windows and light that comes through.
Exactly.
Even when it rains, there's light.
But like if I leave and I leave the living room light on or something, I'll turn it off and I'll leave it off for the rest of the day.
There was a period of time for like 2 months I stayed with Devin. It was one of the most interesting times of my life.
I only saw this man on Saturdays.
He only saw me on Saturdays in the morning at like 10.
And then he
After
gone.
that, I'd never be seen again because I would always be like out making music or here at the church or playing basketball or just out with friends, traveling 2 hours to see my girlfriend. Like, it was just a lot.
Not me, I just stayed home. I had everything
And
that I needed at
man,
home.
he gets up at like 4 in the morning to go to work.
Yeah.
You get up at 4, you got to be to work at 5, right? You work 10-hour days.
10, 11-hour days sometimes.
Yeah, this man, I don't know how he did it.
And I would be going to bed at 10 o'clock.
I mean, like, realistically, like, if you're working,
That was my thing, is I stay up as much as I can so that way I can enjoy. I don't want to get stuck in that Go to work, go home, eat, go to bed, get up. I would hate to get stuck in that cycle.
But nah, I don't. I honestly don't see how you do it. I mean, I get up at 6 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock, depending on the day. Only because I like to get up now and just I have a routine now where I get up and my Bible and pray before, which I did not, I could not. I would always have like an excuse that I didn't have enough time, so I had to make time, which I think that's mainly the thing God asked for my sister. So I wasn't even doing that. Like I'd be like, I could read it when I get home, and guess what happens when you get home? Life. Or you start playing video games
I'm
and you forget,
tired.
or you're tired, or I'm talking about there was times where like I was coming home at like 3 in the morning from like a DJ gig or something, 4 in the morning, having to get up for church 2 hours later. I don't know how I survived those days. Uh, but I don't do that anymore. I tell people I ain't out past 11.
I'm already asleep. 11.
That's fine with me, bro. Bro, when you are in, well, I haven't had any caffeine today because I was trying. Not honestly, I just got caught up in prayer and getting ready for work today. But I know I just haven't had any caffeine today, and I feel it in my head.
I'll
It's
feel
okay.
it. I'll feel it down in my bones.
But
No caffeine.
anyway, so 17, I get my first real job. After that, the current campus we had, which we had the K through 12 school there. Um, I forget which hurricane it was, but it wasn't Irma, was it?
No, it wasn't Irma. It was the one that didn't hit right over us, but it hit like near us. It was that 2017?
It was 2017 because it was September.
It was.
It was Irma. It was Irma.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Irma and Maria. But Irma had Irma had pretty much came through and flooded up to 3 feet of water
Oh yeah,
in the building.
It was
And
bad.
before that, we knew that there was possible things of flooding because we've had flooding there before, like bad in the parking lot at least, not come in the building. And so we sandbagged all the doors. We basically put everything that we had like on the floor, on desk, on top of the stage, like
I wasn't there for that.
everything. And you had just started going to school, but you weren't like you. It was during the school year.
I wasn't doing anything. I
You weren't
remember
doing
I came
anything.
in on a Saturday with my grandma just to see how bad it looked, and that was about it.
So, but this was like before like we had to prep to move everything, and then after that, we maybe like later, they called me to go in, and you could just smell
Oh, it's
mildew.
stunk.
It was so bad.
It was like high up the wall. It was high. It was like over knee length. The wall where it had flooded and
So we
everything.
lost. They lost textbooks. All of our like obviously carpet. We lost a bunch of equipment was destroyed. Like sound and lighting equipment was destroyed from being on the floor. What else? We had just purchased subs like they're practically brand new 2 years before, ruined. I were in the floor. It was bad. It was like real bad, and so we had to move from there. And thank God, We passed. We our pastor at the time had connections with a
Presbyterian,
Presbyterian church,
a
a
Methodist.
Methodist church, and the Crossing. And
Whoa, that's where
that's
we
how.
are.
And so one of the Presbyterian church and the Crossing, they were right next to each other. This is when we were at Oleander, and so I was stationed to be at the. I was stationed to be. No, we weren't at the Presbyterian church yet.
Not the one that was right
Not the
there.
one that was next to the Crossing.
There
It was
was the
another
other
one.
one
Yeah, it was
in
another one.
yeah.
And we and after so I was stationed at the Presbyterian church with a few other guys and one of my coworkers at the time. Shout out Tim. We were there, and I lost my train of thought.
That's where I was. That was the high school.
Oh yeah, that's where the high school campus was there, and my sister worked at that campus because they had preschool there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and after that, then they started having me teach like music. I was teach because I started playing keys around that time and drums, and again all self taught except
No
for
lessons. Just YouTube,
I had like
baby.
I had like 3 lessons of drums, and then my pastor at the time told me I wasn't good enough to play drums, and so that kind of like shot my dreams down, but also made me like I'm gonna become better, and I pretty much I would play drums. I would practice in the main sanctuary and in the youth room, and I was playing drums for the youth group. And then around 2017, I started playing keys accidentally.
What you like fell on the keyboard and made a sound and you're like, ooh, I like that.
Ooh, that's a nice sound.
Ooh, what is that? An F?
No. After that, no, I pretty much no. So I had this little. It's called a launch pad, like a beat machine, and I was able to play percussion sounds. So that's how I got on the worship team to play percussion.
Someone gave me one of those and I had no idea what to do with it. So I just put random sound effects and started hitting buttons.
And then after that, me and Jay came up with this idea because Jay was at the church we were at previously, and he was like, "What if you recorded a pad sound, and after that, we figured out we could do that, put it into the program, and then I would playing like pads on there for the song. So like we would pre-program. Mind you, I know nothing about music theory yet, nothing about chords, notes, progressions, nothing, not a thing,
Hitting it because it sounded good.
not a thing. Faking it till you make it, right? So after that, then I was like, I gained an interest and I bought a little MIDI keyboard, which is just like a piano that you hook to your computer. And after that, I started playing like notes, and then our main keyboard player left, so I had to start playing keys over there. And then after that, we got a new music director and a new keyboard player, and I switched to playing aux keys, which is like a secondary keyboard player who plays like pads and lead sounds, and like I might play like a saxophone or a trumpet on there or a synth bass or whatever. Um, and then the whole hurricane happened, and then we pretty much all our musicians were basically like they didn't come back, and so I had to pick up and play main keys at our church, and I just started learning from there. And again, nobody really. Jay showed me maybe like a few things, because Jay's not like really a keyboard player; he's a guitar player. Mind you, Jay is like impact he's had on both of our lives is like tremendous, tremendous. But we'll talk about that in a second. But I think with one more of the story is like there's nothing I can do but like really thank God for those like opportunities that I was given time for like DJing for local Christian artists. Even sadly, even DJing with like secular artists at the time I was just it just helped me push me out of my comfort zone. I would say of being shy, but my girlfriend would say, but, Devin thinks me and Devin are introverts.
I don't even know what those mean, but yeah.
So an introvert is somebody who doesn't like to go out and do nothing.
Yeah.
Like if if COVID happened again, you would be fine with just sitting.
If COVID happened again, I'd have to get another job. Yeah. I'd stay at home all day. Heck, I did it over this. I've been off of work since 22nd of December. I've been off of work for over 2 weeks. Just sitting doing my thing, loving every minute of it.
All we can say, it's been a blessing to us.
Heck yeah.
To really wrap it up for me, side of things, I became a teacher at the age of 18, teaching music production because I got heavy into music production.
High schoolers.
18, well, I was 19, my bad. 18, I started teaching technology. So weird, right?
So different.
19, I become a teacher. Mind you, they low-key fired me over the summer, right? And the guy who got me a job at the Boys and Girls Club making $80 an hour. I would go and teach kids for like 4 hours on 2 days a week. Right? You can do the math. That was the first time I made like good money. And he hired me back. He got me hired back at where I got fired from. Cool. And I started teaching music production. But while teaching music production, I was still running social media accounts, running websites, making graphics, videos, recording videos, all of that. I was still doing everything I was doing before. What's that? Now, after that, 2 years later, no, literally later that year, I'm sorry, this is 2019, so 2020, COVID happens in March, shut down, school shuts down. Jay leaves the school in the church, comes here to the crossing.
Not a school, just the church. Not the school, just the church.
Oh no, he left the church.
Yeah, he came to the church, but we don't have a school.
And then he left the school.
Yeah, we don't have a school.
Yeah.
Just a church now.
Yeah. And then after that, yeah, I'm not really gonna tell Jay's business like that, but yeah, for church. And then 2022, yeah, 2022 is when I left the church, my past church, and I really felt like God was calling me to a higher position in ministry. And as I started to pray about that and just pray like, God, I really don't feel like I'm getting like fed here, and I don't feel like I'm really getting.
You're not where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like I'm supposed to be somewhere else, right? And around that time, before that, Jay would hit me up like once a month, and he hit me up like twice a month. Then he came like every week, every other day. And I remember him asking, he's like, hey, so, he asked me how everything's going. And, I told him, and I was like, I'm really thinking about, what my next, like, step is in life. And That's how. And then you know, me and Jay got to talking, and I prayed about coming here, and it was kind of just like, okay, like that's really how it was. It was just like, all right, this is yeah. God pretty much just like go, and so I obviously me being an overthinker as I am, prayed about it more before I did it, and me being so nervous, and this is how I knew that I was supposed to do it. I absolutely hate confrontation. As much as I joke around about it, I hate it with a passion. Like I don't like going up to like I was so scared back then that I wouldn't even if there was something wrong with my paycheck, I wouldn't say a word. I would just take it as is and move on. If there was something wrong with my hours or with or if I did something and they didn't like it and I couldn't voice my own. And I think it stemmed from a trauma, but um I knew this was out of my comfort zone, and it was because it was very uncomfortable for me to have to send an email saying that I am no longer going to be attending a place I was for 15 plus years.
Literally grew up in.
I literally grew up there. Like those people were like my parents. And after that, it was just seemed like the right move after I did that. Felt such a like a calm feeling for that. Um, and that's when I really met Pastor Craig. Starting to get to know him and segueing to Devon. Devon was going here at the time already. I had left it prior, so let you talk about that.
Back in my day.
Not back in my day.
No, so my family wasn't really well, my mom and dad weren't really churchy people. They went to church when they were like teenagers, but after that they kind of just stopped going. So, I went to church with my grandma like here and there sometimes when I was like 8, 9, 10, or whatever. And then when I turned 11, 12 is when I went on the trip at the other church, and I didn't even know I was going. Literally, I got told the day before, "Hey, you want to go on a trip to the youth group?" And I was like, do
What's
I
a
have to
youth
pay
group?
any money?" And they were like, "No, you already got paid to go." And I was like, "Oh, cool." So we went to Universal Studios for Rock the Universe, and then um and then after that trip, I literally didn't go to the church for like 2 years.
Devin, can you explain to the people what Rock Universe is?
So Rock the Universe is at Universal Studios Orlando here in the beautiful sunshine state of Florida.
Florida.
And it's a kind of like a concert event that Universal puts out every year in January. And it's just a whole bunch of Christian bands that get together. They close the park and everything like that for everybody who has a wristband if you're special
It's
enough.
really fun, but it's like the most chaotic.
It is. It's a whole bunch of just hormone-driven kids running around Universal Studios.
Hormone-driven kids. Like when I tell you the chaos of that trip, I remember they turned around. Yeah.
On which trip?
I was 17 or 18. No, I was 18. The year we went again, like 2 years later when you came back, and
I have
they
pictures.
turned around to me and they're like, "Brian, we actually got an extra room, or we had to get another room, but we don't have another chaperone, and we know." No, I was 17, and they were like, "We need you to be the chaperone for the room," and I was just about to graduate, and I was like, okay. Mind you, that same year in that same room, I had two kids. One of them decided while I wasn't in the room, I was down at the pool. They went up, they left the pool, came upstairs, and guess what happened? You remember?
I wasn't there for that trip.
They threw my iPad case. My iPad case that I had took off my iPad and was sitting on the bed. They decided to pick it up and throw it around the room, and it hit the TV and broke the TV. The kid comes downstairs, and he goes, "Okay, I, I, I broke the TV." And I'm like, I was like, in my room, they're like, yeah. I'm like, it would be my first time chaperoning, and this happens. And it's my case. That's the worst part. It's my case. Nobody else's case. My case. But anyway, Rock the Universe trips were just hilarious.
Rock the Universe
The
trips
worst.
were amazing. We need to do that again.
No,
I went last year. I went last year with my wife and her family.
why didn't you tell me?
We're going this year. They
Wow.
rented out a condo apartment up in Orlando for like 2 or 3 nights.
Maybe I should buy tickets and go.
We went to Universal. We went to Islands of Adventure and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what the dates are this year, but I know it's in January. Here in a couple of weeks. But anyways,
Hormone-driven kids.
hormone-driven kids at Universal, and it's just overall fun. And then after that, I came back to the summer camp, which I had no idea I was helping at the summer camp that year back. Literally, it was the Sunday before.
What was your awareness level as a teenager?
If I really didn't know what was going on, I just went with anything. If they said get in the car, we're going somewhere. That's all I knew. So
Okay.
Sunday afternoon, my grandma called me and she said, "Hey, are you doing anything over the summer?" And I said, "No, I'm probably just staying home and playing games." And she said, "Oh, well, do you want a job to make some money?" And I said, "What do I have to do?" She said, "You're going to help out at my church." Okay. So she's like, "You have to be there this time on Monday and all this kind of stuff." And I said, "All right, whatever. I guess I can go." So it was the summer camp. The first day of summer, I was brand spanking new. And literally 2 hours in, I literally just sat in the corner the whole time. My hood on. I just sat there looking around. Didn't know what I was doing there. So, then that summer went off, and then somehow they saw that I did so good during the summer that they wanted me to go to the school, and I was like, okay. So 11th grade, I'm going into a new school.
I have a question. Sorry to interrupt, but it just came to my mind. Did they actually pay for you, or did they actually pay you? Because didn't they pay you? Didn't they pay for you to go to school?
Oh yeah, I got full
Do you
scholarship
think
and
that
everything.
did you get? Did you actually? You didn't get money that summer. You got money the summer after that when we were at the crossing.
Oh
when we were
yeah, I
at the
didn't get
medical
paid.
campus. Yeah,
The heck?
but that's how I think that's
heck?
that's what your grandma was like. Look, you're gonna go to the summer camp.
That's
And
how they
then
get you.
That's how they get you. But anyway,
But anyways,
started going to the school.
11th grade, went to the school, did whatever, left all the people that I had been friends with since kindergarten to go to this new school. Had no idea what was going on there, but yeah. But I low-key went to the school just for literally one person. That's the only reason I moved to that school. You know who it is. I'm not even kidding. That was the one reason I went to the school. I threw everything else out the window behind my back to go to this school.
Oh, I was going through so many names, but it's the okay.
That was the whole
Got it.
reason. The whole reason that I went to the school.
That's crazy. I wasn't even the reason you went to school. That's crazy. Well, I wasn't a student there at the time.
So, 11th grade, and get this, 2 months into 11th grade, the hurricane came and ruined the building. Everybody for that year, everybody blamed me for the hurricane because I showed up out of the blue, and then suddenly the school that they've been at for years just got destroyed.
Oh man, that's so true. I heard all his friends just talking about Devin. Since you came to the school, we've been cursed.
Oh, but we got through that, and then once I started going to the school, I started helping more and more at the church. I wasn't really doing anything crazy. I was just showing up on Sundays.
I'm mainly helping with like youth group.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of kids' church.
Oh yeah, kids church too.
Helping in the background of kids' church, doing stuff that
Basically
Jay
everything
needed.
I did, just like 4 years later.
Yeah, whatever Brian wasn't able to do anymore, it kind of fell on me, and I was like,
okay. Not like I wasn't capable. You made it sound like I wasn't capable of doing it.
No, he was too busy.
That's
And then I'll never forget this. The reason I started playing bass and I learned how to play bass was we were doing a youth service. And a month before, Pastor Jay came to me and said, "Hey, we're doing a youth service. Do you know how to play an instrument?" I told him that I was in band before.
I thought he asked you because I was there when I think he didn't. He say he asked you what you wanted to do. Started to list off a few things like, do you want to do offering? Do you want to do the announcements? Do you want to do the sound? Do you want to do this? And then I think you even were like, you even sparked the interest. It was like, do you know how to play an instrument? And then
I was in band. I beat drums and I played French horn, saxophone, trumpet, tuba, trombone, like all those weird instruments. And then he started listing off the instruments. Like, do you play keys? Do you play drums? Do you play bass? And I said, "What's a bass?"
What's a bass?
And then he's like, "Here, I'll show you." So then literally he showed me this guitar with 4 strings and I was like, "Oh, looks easy enough. Can't be that hard to play." And then a month later I was sitting there playing bass, literally the worst way you could play bass.
But like I gave them the easiest songs to play though. And you remember our band? It was
you on keys.
It was me on keys. Caleb was playing keys too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Caleb's another one of our best friends. He was playing keys.
I was on bass.
Next to me.
Kanan was on drums.
And then Trinity was singing.
Another
girl named Brianna at the time was singing. I think.
No, it was Vanessa.
Oh, Vanessa. And no, Brianna was singing too.
Was Brianna singing?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think that her family was still going there because she was still in school. But after that,
who was playing acoustic?
It might have been Aaron. You remember Aaron?
Yes, Aaron, yes. Amy's brother. Yes. That's right.
Yes. He was playing acoustic and
yeah, and it was I remember one of the songs, the very first song that that I learned to play on bass was What a Beautiful Name.
That and we always played this one song. This was like in our rotation of youth, was Wake by Hillsong Young and Free.
What was the King of My Heart?
Oh, that was
That was the other one. Those songs were literally those are our staple songs. If we didn't know how to play those songs, there was something wrong with us.
It's true.
Like we were taking over.
Like now, if we messed those songs up, like it would be, what are you doing?
You got to get off stage. I got to go home and repent. Something ain't right.
Okay, so 2018, you're playing bass now.
So yeah, so I started playing bass. No, that was earlier than that. That youth thing was earlier than that. I started playing bass when I was like 16. That was like 2017, something like that.
Huh.
It was a tradition.
It was 2018 because it was before your birthday. It was in like February or something like that.
All I know is I was still young buck.
Young buck.
Buck.
Mind you, he's only 23.
22.
You're 22? Nah, you're lying.
22.
I thought you were 23.
2001, baby.
Oh, you're right. That's Caleb that's 23. No.
So, threw into the deep end on bass. Probably one of the easiest instruments for you to learn.
Literally.
But It was pretty fun. And then graduated the next year, class of 2019. Crazy. And then literally it took all the way up until the Friday before school started before they offered me a job at the school. Like I literally didn't I wasn't good. I had no idea what I was doing or anything like that. They're like, "Oh, well, does we can give him a job." And I can't remember what the heck I was doing. Like, oh, I was doing no.
So at first you were doing things to help me. Second, knew a lot about computers, so you started helping out with computers, like with our IT guy at the time.
Oh yeah.
And then later that year of 2019, you became the IT.
I became the IT guy after COVID.
Yeah, because I think our IT guy just decided to stop showing up to work.
He just did not show up to work.
And then yeah, and then
I took over that role for.
we just said and then like 4 times in a row.
That's okay.
Crazy.
You know what was crazy about COVID? I was up in Tennessee celebrating spring break with my family when COVID hit. We were in Gatlinburg. Nobody was on the streets. This is before COVID hit the US. Nobody was in the streets or whatever, and we could just go to any shop or whatnot.
That sucks.
And then I came back. We came back on a Monday, and I had a appointment the next day at a doctor for my car accident. And I got out of the doctor's appointment.
Hold on. Let's backtrack for 1 second. Listen to this. You got in your car accident a week.
I got into my car accident 5 days after getting my car.
And
it
mind
was
you,
brand new.
It was a week after the week before you got your car.
It was the week we went to Passion.
Yeah, we went to Passion.
We went to Passion. Passion happened on what was it, like a Monday or something?
It was no, we went up there.
We came back on a Friday.
It was like a Thursday.
We came back on a Friday.
Something like that.
And literally the next day, my parents were like, "Hey, we're going to go get you a car."
That was a Saturday.
And I was like so excited. I got that car on Saturday. And Sunday, I brought it. Sunday, I drove it to church and everything. I was so excited and everything like that. And then went to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and on my way to work on Thursday, some lady ran a red light and T-boned me, and my car spun out, and I hit one of the stoplight poles, and like my whole back end my wheel was in the middle of the intersection, and my backpack flung out my back window. That had my computer, everything like that.
Brand new computer, right?
Brand new computer. Everything flung out the window. And I sat there in the car for a second. I was like, no way that just happened. No way that just happened. And there's people running up, "Oh my gosh, you okay? You okay?" And nothing, not one scratch, not a bruise, nothing.
Tell them what happened before that whole moment happened. Did something before that whole moment happened. You said God told you to do something.
Yeah, so if you know the area, US 1, I was on US 1. This is like not even 5 minutes before. I was like, you know what? Something was really pushing me to listen to some of the music we heard up in Passion. So I started putting that on, and then literally like halfway through the song, just bam, whole thing happened. And it was less than 5 seconds that whole thing took place, and it was crazy. I just sat there like, oh, and I had to get out. I had to crawl through my passenger door to get out of the car. I couldn't even open my front door because she had hit my driver door and just dragged the car down the whole thing. So, yeah, that car was totaled.
That car was T-bone. Like it was horrible. And when when Jay had called me and said that you had got in that accident, I was in the middle of teaching a class, and I was like, it was so funny because Jay calls me and I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Devin just got into a car," and I'm like, "Huh?" And he's like, "Yeah, Devin just got into a bad car accident. Some lady ran a red light and rear-ended him, and it's horrible." And I was like, "Oh no, is he okay?" Like the most monotone. Like if you knew me then, like I was the most monotone. I mean, I still can be now, but like I basically showed like no emotion. I just like, is he okay?
So my first call was to my mom, and my mom was working. There was no way she could get out of work because she worked all the way in PSL. So it was gonna be like a good 30 minutes before she got there. So I called my dad, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, are you kidding?" I said, "No, I'm on the side of US 1 right now." And so he was there like 5 minutes. That's the fastest I've ever seen that man drive. And then after I hung up the phone with him, I called Pastor Jay
Mm.
because he was like the person over me or whatever, and I let him know, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, is everything okay?" I said, "I think so. I think I'm okay." So he came by right after my dad got there just to, make sure everything was fine. And I literally, the only thing going through my mind was, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be late for work."
This guy.
Like brand new Kia Forte, like completely totaled, and I'm like, I gotta get to work.
But guess what? The blessing. What was the blessing out of it though? There was a
Oh,
blessing out of it.
that car. Well, at first I didn't think there was a blessing because I still
Okay.
had to make a car payment on that stupid thing.
What was the car payment amount at the time
Car
you got
payment
it?
was like $500.
And I looked Devin in the face and I said, "Devin, that was the most stupidest thing you could have ever done. You should just got a used car." Nah, I don't want a used car. I want it to be brand new. Mind you, I'm driving a Nissan Cube 2009, I think it
Oh
was.
my gosh.
It was the best car. It was one of the best cars I ever had. Like, if you want to put four big people like me in that car, they will all fit comfortably. Like, I'm not kidding. But Devin got that car, and I told him it was stupid because of like the payment wise, and he just got a job and could like barely afford it, and
I think I was getting paid like $14 an hour.
something like that.
And then so after that, a month later, at the end of February, we went to the bank, and I got pre-approved for a blank check. They literally said just fill out the amount or whatever, and we'll handle the rest after that. So we went to me, my mom, and my dad and my brother went to the car dealership, went to another Kia dealership, and my mom's like, "So which are you gonna get a different car? Are you gonna like how are you gonna do this?" And I said, "I'm gonna get the same exact car because if it saved me once, it's gonna save me again." So we literally went to two different Kia dealerships. No, we called around asking, "Hey, do you have a 2020? I think it's a 2020 Kia
It was
Forte."
a 2021.
No, it's a 2020.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh.
a 2020 Kia Forte in fire orange. I had to have that color. That was the color I
Yo,
wanted.
that orange color is so. The orange my favorite color. So like that orange. When I saw your car first time, I was low key jealous. But like still, like
So, I had to have that car with that color, and there was one or two around the area, and there was one in Melbourne that had everything that I wanted, all the safety features and everything, except it had the remote start, which was like an extra $500 on the end price. And me, I'm like, $500. What's that? So, but we didn't end up getting that one. We got it here, um, and then I got my new car. And it took 8 months to settle the lawsuit because the lady didn't have insurance when she hit me. She had a Chevy Tahoe, not one scratch.
A big car.
It's built like a freaking monkey, dude. That thing is like an ape. That thing's like a
You could have
gorilla.
said gorilla, elephant.
I couldn't think of it, man.
Polar bear. You said monkey.
I sure did say monkey.
Okay.
So, and then 6 or 8 months later, I walked into the attorney's office, walked out with a check. I had my girlfriend at the time, future wife, with me whenever I got the check. $6,000. First thing I did, spend $2,000 on a computer that I still have to this day. Have not had to touch it, nothing like that, and the rest of it went to video games, slowly but surely.
Whoa.
Yep.
You spent the $4,000
Over a couple of years, yeah. I'm not good with money. I'll tell you that much right now.
Me and you both. That's on my vision. That's on like my vision. My visions for 2024. One thing I've been praying to God about is like being financially stable.
Man, that's on my vision board for like 2026. I'm enjoying it while I can. But
This guy.
But anyway, after that whole thing, I went to the doctor when we got back from COVID, and then literally I walked out of the doctor's office, and the owner of the school that we were working at called me and said, "Hey, are you able to come in for a meeting? It was about the church and the school." And I was like, I just got back from Tennessee, so I don't know because I kind of have to quarantine. And she literally asked me, "Are you coughing?" "No." "Do you feel sick?" "No." "Okay, then nobody has to know."
Mind you,
This is like peak COVID.
Like people, like, Lord forgive me, but bodies were dropping in COVID.
Like people were wearing masks in their car by themselves. That's the level of COVID we were at. Like all masked up, sitting in the car, listening to music, talking to themselves. Like these people were crazy. And it was like it was breaking the law basically.
Peak COVID.
So I went in and I kept my distance from everybody. I literally sat, like, they all thought I was crazy.
Except for me.
But I was like, yeah, no, I'm going to stay over here. So then so when I came back from that, before that, they had put me on salary because they were telling me to clock in for the church and the school 1 week. They messed up and told me to do that. They told me to clock in for the church and clock in for the school, and I put in like 112 hours
in 1 week.
They literally said, like, being 18. So I didn't have a
wife.
That
was 1 week or
that was over
or 2 weeks.
That was over 1 week. So I was like, they said, all right, we can't do that again. We'll just pay you overtime.
Moral of the story: you're gonna be a church volunteer. Be ready to put in 112 hours.
Oh, yeah. So, but then they furloughed and all that kind of crappy stuff. Just that way I wasn't able to get unemployment. Because unemployment at that time was like $1,000 a week. And I couldn't apply because they furloughed me. But anyways, so then I came back and then that whole thing happened. And then I left the school. And I got a job working at a boat company that my dad knew the guy, one of the people that worked there. He was a supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working under him, and I've learned so much there. Like not even just, about boats and all that kind of stuff, but just like my work ethic has 100% improved, and I've learned like how to talk to people in a way where you're not passing blame on anybody, but like kind of like management stuff.
Devin literally used to talk to people and they'd be like, Devin, we need you to do this, and this, and this. Okay.
That was the answer.
Like,
okay.
Oh well.
But
We'll
now,
bump that.
I mean, heck, now I could do it. But then I took after I left the school, I took like a year and a half off of just any church or anything like that, and I was kind of like just in my own doing my own thing for that year and a half. And it was really refreshing, as bad as it sounds, because when we were up in Passion, God's word for me was rest.
Yeah. Mine was mine was weird. No, that was the other one.
Mine was rest, and that I was trying to open doors and I weren't ready.
Oh yeah.
So once I took that year and a half off, it felt so nice, because the other church did Wednesday night services, so I didn't have to go somewhere on Wednesday. I didn't have to go to a practice. I didn't have to wake up early on a Sunday. Like, I could just
Talk
it,
about the life.
it felt so good. And then I came, I think Jay got me to come here. I was here for like a year and a half after that. And then I stepped away again for a couple of months.
More than a couple of months. It was for like
Was it? It was close to a year.
It was. I got here in late March.
I stepped away and
I got here in March. Like before I started attending the church, I started coming to the church because I put my 2 weeks in at my other church.
yeah, I was
I
already
came
gone.
here.
I was gone at
You're
that
already
point.
here.
I was taking another thing of rest. And then I went back to the old church. And that was interesting. Trying to implement all the stuff that I've grown and learned with. Take like from my personal job and my personal life, trying to implement it, but
Let's
getting
just
like
say-
resistant.
Let's just say, when a pastor is stuck in their ways, they ain't budging.
That's how it is. It's crazy that that's how it is. And I think that's like it's crazy that people are like that, knowing that everything else is evolving. Because if you stay in that way, it might have worked 10 years ago, but nowadays it's completely different, and it's not gonna generate the same amount of profit or bringing people in as it did before.
Oh, 3 words Devin said to me recently. That pretty much like
I can't remember what those 3 words were.
I'm about to tell you. Those 3 words, man. When he said like you probably heard it before, but like he said, church is changing, and it kind of hit me because like we're always so like focused on, well, this mega church does it like this, we should do it like them,
Yeah.
or well, we used to do it like this, and this is how it used to work.
Yeah, like Elevation did this when they started, so maybe we should replicate how that did. But
No, remember, what's the key word in that sentence? Used to.
yeah.
It used to work. When we did this, it used to work like that. But now the problem is like they wanna try everything. Like churches nowadays, I think they wanna try everything. But what our pastor constantly reminds us of is that it's about the people and it's about the relationship you build with the people. Right? Those are the 2 main things that our church talks about here. And when we had like a 2-3 hour conversation with him the other day
On Friday,
on
yeah.
Friday. No, it was Wednesday.
No, it was Friday.
It was Wednesday.
Was it
Because
Wednesday?
we were supposed to have a meeting. It was
Oh.
yeah, and we had rehearsal after.
Oh, it was. It was
Yeah.
Wednesday.
So when Devin said church is changing, all I could really think about was like, it's like more so we have to evolve, but in order to evolve and to actually change, we have to look at our own lives, see how we're evolving and changing. That's pretty much like what our pastor even said, Pastor Craig. Like, look, we gotta live We gotta make sure our hearts are right before we can touch other people's hearts.
Yeah, like the whenever I watch like videos on, church growth or just any like church things that you can watch just to try to, learn more about that subject, the biggest thing that everybody says is that in the last out of the last like 2000 years, within the last 5 to 10 years, there has been such a huge jump, not just technological, but the way we communicate as a church, the way that we show ourselves as a church. Like, this is the craziest it's ever been for a church, because the church hasn't been through something like this before. Like, they didn't have cell phones and Instagram and friggin' Snapchat back when Jesus was walking around. It would have been wild if they were. There probably is with some time
Bro,
travelers.
of those AI memes of like of if people did have like phones and social media back then, like the ones with Moses like parting the Red Sea.
I haven't seen any of those.
It's so fun. I'm gonna send them to you. It's like it's a picture. He's holding up his phone. He's like, "Just parted the Red Sea."
Oh my gosh.
So hilarious. It's so funny. But no, man, church is changing, and the people have to be ready to change with it. And that doesn't involve just like it doesn't involve going and gaining more knowledge about how the people of the world work and theological things.
Yeah, Pastor Craig said it best earlier. He said, if we keep following the trends that everybody else is following, we're not gonna,
we're
nothing's
setting
gonna
ourselves
happen.
up for failure,
Yeah.
technically. So this is why we decided this year to follow the Holy Spirit.
Yeah,
and
we're
let
not
the Holy
gonna
Spirit guide us.
we're not gonna plan anything out. It's literally gonna be God's
gonna plan things.
we're gonna
plan
plan,
things,
but
it'll be more so like here's what we want to do, but we're not gonna do it unless God says go.
yeah, we're gonna pray on it and make sure it's the
If
right.
God doesn't say go, then we're not gonna do it. It's just that simple.
Because I mean, we get so stuck in just everything always being planned out and everything sticking to a T that if one little thing messes up, then it's like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? What do we like? How are we gonna function with this? How we can't do this? And it's just, I don't think a church can process or work that way, because then at that point you start asking the question, are you letting God lead the service or whatever event it is, or is it just something else to get money in the door? And is it a production?
It's a lot, and this isn't like a church shaming podcast, but like we have to remember that like church one church Bible God says the church is people.
We are the church.
It's
We're
not the
just
four walls.
in four walls.
We also have to remember that we're out there to win souls of the lost. And if we're not if our focus has shifted from that, then we're already not following what God has for us.
If you're not there to win the people over and bring them towards Jesus, then 10 times out of 10, you're not in it for the right reason, and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing in that avenue, if that makes sense.
Of course, and really to tie it all up is what I love about being here at the crossing. I get to be myself, and I don't feel like put in a box. We're really for the people here. People are what people of this church are probably some of the loving people I've ever like had an opportunity to meet, from the leaders to congregation to our pastor is peeking through the window as we speak, as we talk about him.
Like normal.
Let him in. But nah, we the people of his church are just like literally some of the most like loving and kind people.
Well, it's the name, the Crossing Community Church. We're a community.
Community
It's like one
oriented.
big family.
Community oriented. Our goal this year is to be more community oriented. Like how to push that word community. What I like to think about with the crossing is we're crossing to different generations. This year we're crossing into we're gonna cross into different avenues and platforms and really really get the word of God out there this year more and more.
And we're going to make sure we're uncomfortable while we do it.
Of course,
Because if you're uncomfortable, that means you're doing something right.
like I'm telling you, like building up to this podcast, like last year, like I could tell you, this being here has put me so much out of my comfort zone. Like last year when we had the crossing conversation season 1 with Jay and Craig, I had to fill in a couple times and I was freaking out. Texting my girlfriend, I was like,
And now look
I
at
don't
you.
think I can do this, and she's like, no, you got it, you can do it. And Jay, my mentor who did it with me, he's like, bro, you got this. He's like, you'll be fine. And I'm like, it's not the same as teaching in front of a bunch of kids. And when no, again, a lot of situations that have made me uncomfortable, I know it was God, because when I'm uncomfortable doing something, I know it's God. I know it.
Yeah, if you didn't do that before, I'd be sitting here by myself, just talking to myself like some crazy guy on the internet.
Or you could have had your brother.
He wouldn't do that. It'd be too weird.
I don't know. His brother's our producer. He's the one switching the camera for us and making sure our audio levels sound good.
Making sure everything works for us because we'd go crazy trying to do everything else.
And we love him because he's even such a big help too. He's pretty much.
I brought him to the church as like, hey, do you want to learn something cool on Sundays? And he's arguably been here longer than I have altogether.
More than a year.
Yeah, no. I've been here longer than him.
If you want to be honest with you, all of our volunteers are doing such a great job.
Our volunteers are awesome. They go above and beyond. And
obviously every volunteer group has their little quirks.
Yeah.
Our volunteers are awesome. They're always here. They're always ready to serve no matter what, any capacity.
What I try to do is I try to make it easy on them. Because, I mean, when it comes to Sundays, when we're in the thick of it, it's like 9:05, 9:10, we're in the middle of service. They're the ones that everything depends on. Because, I mean, when I came back and I took over the production director role, the first meeting we had, the very first thing I said is that we are the thing that gets the word out to people. Like, if you're behind the scenes in a church, even if you're doing lights, if you're doing sound, if you're just switching slides on Pro Presenter, you are so important to the church that it's crazy how important all the people behind the scenes are. And I see so many times that they don't get that credit, because the way that I think of it as and the way I know it as is you're literally the only reason that people are getting the word that they need. Like, there could be somebody that can't make it to church, somebody who like they can only listen to it, maybe they can't see it, or there's just some way that they get the word out that you had a part to play in it. And just thinking and knowing that somebody out there had their life changed or something amazing happened because of that is honestly one of the reasons why I started doing this kind of stuff in the first place, was just so that way the word can get out there, because who else is going to do it if you don't do it?
This is just an encouragement to all the behind people. Like everything that you do, God sees you, hears you. You weren't just thrown in the back for. Didn't have my pastor at the time throw me under the bus for no reason, throw me into the fire and have me learn these things. There's a reason, like, and the reason is because no matter what we do, what position we serve in the church, you don't have to be a pastor for people to for people to hear the word. You don't have to be a worship leader for people to listen to you. You can be a custodian at the church, and people can still spread the message of God. Like you have to understand that. Like just because you work in the sound doesn't mean nobody cares about what you do. You're the reason why people are hearing the worship leader. You're the reason why people are able to follow along with the songs. You know, you're the reason why people are attracted to the church because you do the lights and like that, you know? And you just really have to understand that like even though you're behind the scenes, even though you're creating content, it doesn't matter. Like people see you, you can still spread the message and that's God's word. God's word doesn't stop just because you work behind.
No.
Just because you're behind the scenes doesn't mean you're behind God.
Yeah. And you don't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be down to a cue. I mean, heck, yesterday we messed up. We had one of we had our pro presenter person mess up, but
pro presenter person messed up. I messed up on some of the songs that we were playing.
Well, I messed up too.
You know, like it is what it is, but at the end of the day, it's like we let go and we let God.
Yeah,
So,
at the end of the day, it's literally just like, man, that sucks. I mean, when you go up to heaven, God's not going to be like, you messed up this song,
so you can't get into heaven.
No, it's not going to be like that. No, God is
doesn't
amazing.
Look at that stuff. God could care less about our flesh. He could care less about our talents, our gifts. He cares about what's in our hearts and just how we serve him. That's all he cares about. He could care less about anything else, bro. I promise you. And just to wrap it up, like, I love our church. I love being able to serve here. Crossing. I love Pastor Craig. Pastor his wife.
I want to thank God.
I just want to thank God. But and I'm just excited that we get to do this, bro.
This is gonna be a very interesting year because I feel like something big is happening.
Something's gonna.
I have no idea what it is, and that makes it terrifying, but it makes it amazing.
But guess what? We're ready.
We're getting ready.
We're ready. No, we're ready. Not even we're getting ready. We're ready because you know why we're ready? Because we're allowing the Holy Spirit to take over. Not gonna do it by ourselves anymore.
Oh. No.
Not gonna do it by ourselves anymore. Nope.
Nope.
No point. Jesus gave us the Holy Spirit for a reason, right? He gave him to us to guide us in life. Guide us back to the word.
And that's the thing that we've been
That's the one thing, at least in my life, that I've been missing. Is being reminded of why the Holy Spirit was given to me.
It's just like what Craig said on Sunday, that he was putting everybody else before him. And so when it came down to it, when he looked back,
he laid everything out on the floor.
There was no him and God time. It was him and everybody else.
Yep.
And I think that's what with our future series that we have coming up is going to be all about your relationship with God and how you can help influence other people to find a relationship with God.
Excited for it. I'm excited for this new year. I'm excited for everything that
I'm excited for a seat at the table.
Woo! That's going to be a great sermon series. I'm so excited for that.
And we're going to have the special thing on the 4th week. Oh man.
Wait till you see it, folks.
We're going to try something different. I don't know how long we've been going for.
I don't know, but this is probably the funnest part of my job now. And now we have to go do our real
This
job.
is the funnest
and-
part of the job that I don't have.
Well, now we have to go do our real job and film the Crossing Couch.
Yes,
Now, with
which is
Pastor
going to be
Craig and Pastor Joe.
which is live.
Yeah,
as this
it's
is
gonna be
recorded.
live on Facebook at 6 every Monday.
This is recorded on a Monday, and it is currently
Nope, don't date it. Don't you dare date it.
is currently a Monday
There you go.
at a
Date it.
certain time.
There you go. Because what if this podcast doesn't come out until like 3 weeks later?
That falls on you, buddy. That doesn't fall on me.
Are you right?
that
Anyway,
falls on you.
This is the Crossing Conversation. I'm Brian.
And I'm Devin.
Why do you have to wait? Why do you have to pause?
All right, we're not doing this.
All right.
All right,
I
so
love you guys.
if you guys want, we have service Sundays at
At 9 a.m.
9 a.m. and
10:45.
10:45. And we have to say the next part together. Let's see if you can read my mind. We will
See you
See
guys
you
next week.
in person or online
Oh.
on Sundays. Well, this is awkward.
Love you.
We'll see you guys on the next episode of the Crossing Conversation.
Crossing Conversation.
Crossing Conversation.
Crossing Conversation. Crossing Conversation. That's the intro.